And welcome back, everyone. Well, as I said in this week's and next week's video, we're gonna kind of go back a little bit. We did our, one or two Christmas cookie things, and we got more of that stuff coming, the holiday baking and everything. But I thought this week and next week, I would show everybody kind of like some side dish ones that you could do for Thanksgiving. And today's one is going to be kind of a double use of a recipe. So let me explain what we made here today. Today we were trying to make a southern cornbread recipe. Now this is a recipe that we kind of like played around with and kind of like from my grandmother's side of the family, from being down in New Orleans, Mississippi, and all that and everything. And from what I know about, baking and things like that, I came up with this one right here, and it's a cast iron pan cornbread. And this is an 8-inch pan. This is still warm. Came out of the oven about a half hour ago. But as you can see, it's a nice golden brown southern cornbread recipe. And let me explain how we got to this point and how it was made. When I first started, I heated my oven to 400 degrees, and I took my cast iron pan and I put it in the oven while the oven was warming up. Then what I did is the basic ingredients for this one is 2 cups of cornmeal, 2 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder and a teaspoon of baking soda, tablespoon of salt, a teaspoon of black pepper, 2 eggs, 1 stick of butter, 2 cups of buttermilk, and a half a cup of honey. So, like I say, while I put the pan in the oven, and I let the pan heat up inside the oven to 400 degrees. Now, the way I did this recipe, and like I said, I'll show everybody what a piece looks like as soon as I get done explaining here, but how I started this recipe is I took my 1 stick of butter, I broke it up into my mixer. To that, I added the 2 tablespoons of the sugar, the buttermilk, and the honey and eggs. And I mixed that all together until that was till the butter and mixture and all that was just all well incorporated and everything. Once that was all well incorporated, I then added my salt, my pepper, baking soda, the baking powder, the flour, and the cornmeal. Now, I know some would say mix all of that together and gradually add it in, but I kind of do this a little bit differently. What I did is, like I say, once I got the liquid all mixed into the bowl together, I just mixed everything right in there. I just put the cornmeal, the flour, baking powder, baking soda, salt, pepper, all of that all together. The key is you don't want to over mix this. When you mix it, you just turn it on low, let it go for a little bit, turn it off. Once it starts to come together, turn it off. I scrape down the sides of the bowl, and then mix it again, turn it back on, mix it again for about 30 seconds, 10 to 30 seconds, just until everything is well incorporated. Now, if you have like little chunks, of butter or something like that, perfectly fine. It doesn't have to be perfectly smooth, but you just want it to come together so it's all incorporated. I then take the cast iron pan out of the oven, and I add a tablespoon of butter into the hot cast iron pan. Swirl that around, let it all melt, and then I poured my batter into the pan, threw it in the oven, and threw it back into the hot oven, and I let it cook for a half hour. Basically, what you want to do is I know a lot of recipes say anywhere from 25 to, I've seen some of them even say up to 35, 40 minutes. I find that the half hour mark works perfectly because you have to remember that the cast iron pan is also going to retain a lot of that heat from the oven. So I pull mine out at a half hour. Let it sit on the oven. Let it sit on top of the oven. That way, it continues to bake in the inside, but it won't over bake. So let me cut a piece out here, and I'll show everybody what this looks like once I get a piece cut out. All right, so we got our piece cut out, and as you can see, it is nice. I just put it on a paper plate because I'm just showing everybody. But you can cut it straight from the pan, or you can turn it out and cut it like that too. You can cut it however you want, but as you can see, it's nice and airy. It's nice and brown on the backside here and on the underneath. And as far as the taste, now normally I'm not one to really like cornbread. But this one is so moist. You get that hint of pepper, the sweetness of the honey, and that buttermilk in there with everything. And it's really not like a dry. I mean, like sometimes you might get cornbread where they're like really dry. This is moist. It's light, and it's very good. So this is, like I say, this is a good one. Like if you're looking for dinner rolls or something simple, this one works out really great. The only thing is that I would only use up to an 8-inch cast iron pan, but I wouldn't go any bigger than maybe 9 or 10 inches, because otherwise, if you use like a 12-inch pan or something like that, it'll be way too thin, then it might burn or whatever. 8-inch pan, it works out fine. You get a nice slice and add a little butter to this, maybe even drizzle some more honey over the top of it. This is a really good one for the family table, like around Thanksgiving and everything. So I also mentioned that this is a dual purpose one. And what do I mean by that? Well, in our next video, I'm going to show everybody how we're going to take an 8-inch pan of cornbread like this, and we're going to turn this into a Southern style cornbread dressing. That, again, it's going to be really good. It's going to be a great recipe, and something that, like I say, you would want to have on your dinner table for Thanksgiving. So again, thanks for watching, everyone. And I also like to say welcome to all my new subscribers, everybody who's just recently subscribed. And if you're new, please hit that subscribe button. And if you could, give the video a thumbs up, because it helps us out a lot. So until the next video, I'll see everybody then. Stay safe. Take care, everyone. We'll talk with you later. Bye.